The telling is a story about a disfigured prophet who has to overcome his own despair in time to seal one of these 9 mythical gates of hell. Zeph Walker was disfigured by his stepmother as a teenager, and he has this hideous scar across his face, and so it's kind of forced him into a life of seclusion. He lives cloistered in this kind of a ramshackle bookstore on the edge of town, but Zeph has this incredible ability, this God-given ability to sound souls, to intuit people's sins and their deepest secrets, and he calls it the telling. But Zeph has renounced God, and he's just buried his gift completely, and he lives in unbelief and complete despair. Biblical prophets were kind of an odd bunch. You know, we tend to sometimes think of prophets in terms of superheroes. You know, they're kind of mythical figures that are with superhuman strength and superhuman courage, but the Bible paints a different picture of prophets. Oftentimes, the prophets in Scripture were conflicted individuals, sometimes frightened individuals, oftentimes fragile, and weak individuals. Moses, when God called Moses at the burning bush, Moses more or less just argued with God. He said, I can't speak right, I need some help on this matter, I don't want to go to Pharaoh by myself. And then you could think of Elijah. Elijah, when he battled the prophets of Baal and Jezebel. Elijah ran from Jezebel in fear. He was in depression and worry. And then you've got Jonah, the prophet Jonah, who, when he's called by God, Jonah turns the other direction and runs. And so the prophets of the Bible were often conflicted individuals, and the character in my book, The Telling, Zeph Walker, is very much like them. Zeph is a very conflicted, troubled, fragile individual who's running from God. The city of Endurance is the fictional setting for The Telling. It's a small town on the northernmost fringes of Death Valley, and Endurance is home to this fantastic urban legend. You see, in the foothills, in the Sierra Nevadas, there is an abandoned mine that the townspeople call the Rift. The Rift is believed to be the 9th gate of hell on earth. And according to legend, when all 9 gates are opened, then hell will be loosed on earth, a dimension where primeval forces plot their escape. It is home to soul eaters or dark angels. Zeph has completely abandoned his calling. He's bitter with God over his disfigurement. He has renounced his calling, but something unusual is happening in Endurance that he can't deny. Apparently, like all over the city, people are changing. People are being swapped. Someone is replacing the residents of the city. And it's because the soul eaters, these dark angels, have escaped. They are on the march. The rift has been opened, and Zeph is the only one who can close it. But something more insidious, even more insidious than these dark angels, stand in Zeph's way. It's himself.